Hello guys, this is the Decoder, and for today's review we'll be looking at Grand Theft Auto 3 for the Xbox. For those of you not familiar with Grand Theft Auto, it's a hit series mainly known for its free roam. Well, the games obviously offer more than that, but that's what they're most notably known for, their free roam experience. So there is a plot to this game, and it's actually pretty good. In basic terms, you and your girlfriend go and rob a bank, but your girlfriend betrays you, and then you wind up getting arrested. And your friend 8-Ball helps you escape, and then you go around completing tasks for several gangs, some of which there are rivals to others, building up your reputation in Liberty City, which is where the game of course takes place, and eventually planning on getting revenge on your ex-girlfriend. The plot's obviously a lot bigger, but that's just it in basic terms. One cool thing, though, is that some characters from this game are involved in future games where you learn more about their personality and other things they did, which is pretty cool. How are the missions? I've got to admit, at first, they're pretty boring. But don't give up. Hang in there, and soon enough, the really fun missions will come up. In addition to the story missions, there's also side missions, which include, when you get into a taxi, you can complete taxi missions, or there's phones around the city in which you can complete missions for the other caller as well. As I said, this game takes place in Liberty City, and it's divided into 3 places, or islands, I think is what they're called. You start out in Portland, then you unlock Staten Island, and last but not least, you unlock Shoreside Vale. Each time you unlock a new island, it really enhances the free roam experience, and it keeps it into the game a lot longer than it would if, they just gave you everything right at the start. So it was a pretty good idea to do it like that. There are save houses at each of the islands. What these are basically self-explanatory. You enter, and then you can save your game in one of the 8 slots available. There's also garages at each of the safe houses in which you can save some of the cars you found throughout the city. The first safe house allows you to store 1 car, the second one 2 cars, and the third one, it allows you to store 3 or 4 cars. Mine right now only stores 3, but I remember at one point somehow getting 4 in there, so I'm not really sure how that works. And obviously the safe house at Portland isn't as nice as the ones on Staten Island, and obviously Shoreside Vale is even nicer than the one on Staten Island, so that makes sense. All the weapons that are available are basically the ones you need to have a great free roam experience. You have your rocket launcher, your pistol, your sniper, your machine guns, your grenades, just everything you need to have a fun time. Note that you lose all your weapons if you either die or get arrested by the cops. And obviously the farther you get in the game, the easier access you'll have to getting more of the better weapons without having to use cheat codes. There are many cars in the game. Obviously, there are different cars at Portland than they are in Shoreside Vale or Staten Island. Some cars look pretty much alike, though. I remember the difference between 2 of the cars is that they have different interiors. And, the taxi and the police car actually, act the same when you're in them. There's also a dodo plane at the airport. I'm pretty sure a dodo is an extinct animal, like a bird that couldn't fly. So, actually, the plane can't really fly itself, but the strange part is you see the plane flying in some of the missions, so it makes you wonder, why can't I fly in it? There is a cheat code, though, that's called the Dodo code, I think is what they call it, but it basically lets you fly cars. There's also a tank. It's obviously the heaviest of the cars. It can cause the most damage, and it takes a while to even get it to, give out. But the one thing I don't like is that as soon as you touch a car in the tank, it just explodes right there. It's still fun to use the tank, but you wish, it was more like some of the newer games where you run into a car and you get to watch all the damage it gets from you hitting it and, rolling over and all that too. The free roam experience is pretty good. I've got to say it's probably more realistic than the 2 future games, Vice City and San Andreas, but it's probably less realistic than 4. But it's still fun. And it gets the job done. When you're free roaming, obviously there are wanted levels, in which the cops will come and they'll try to kill you. You can have up to 6 stars. At 3-star, a helicopter comes, and you actually gain a star just from shooting down the helicopter. At 5 stars, the SWAT team comes, and at 6 stars, the military comes. For the other 4 stars, it's just the plain police. Obviously, the higher the amount of stars you have, the harder it is to get away. But there are cheat codes you can use too to, even get your wanted level higher or lower or whatever. Also, if you kill a cop, I think you automatically get 3 stars. And I don't know, I heard this wasn't true, but to me it seemed when you're at Portland, the max stars you can get is 4. When you're at Staten Island, the max stars you can get is 5. And then when you're at Shoreside Vale, the max you can get is obviously 6. But of course, once you get to Shoreside Vale, you can get 6. You can get 6 on any of the others. And once you get to Staten Island, you can get 5. You can get 5 on Portland. So that's what it seemed like it was. Unlike the future GTA games, there is a map on the bottom part of the screen, but you can't enlarge it to really see where you're going. It's also very hard to find, the gun shops and some other things that you may need to find to be in a lot better shape to do your missions. They're not even marked on the bottom, unless your first time accessing them, I think. So that's definitely a downside of the game. The graphics are good, especially from the time, and the damage model is very impressive. It doesn't disappoint. And that's all I think I can really say about the game. It's a great game, especially for its age, and it's obviously pretty old, as I've said before, and I think it only goes for literally $5, so if you have an Xbox laying around, you should go get it. I'm pretty sure, too, it's backwards compatible with the Xbox 360. Not 100% sure on that one, but I'm pretty sure it is. The thing about doing older game reviews, though, it's a little hard to give it a rating, because compared to today's games, it's not, as good as today's games, but yet you gotta think about how it was at that time, so I think I'd give it a 8 out of 10. So I'd recommend taking a look at it. This has been The Decoder. Thank you for watching, and tune in next week.